So tangent angle difference, alpha minus beta. So we're going to come up with a formula for this in terms of tangent. And to do that, we're going to start by converting the sine and cosine. So remember, tangent is the sine over the cosine of whatever angle you start with. And our angle is alpha minus beta. So to do this, then I have to remember, okay, the sine angle difference and the cosine angle difference. So this is going to get a little messy before it gets better. Sine angle difference starts off with sine of alpha, then it switches to cosine of beta. Since there's a subtract here, there's a subtract here. And then it switches cosine alpha, sine beta. Cosine starts with cosine, stays with cosine. Then it switches and it gets the sign wrong, sort of. It switches the signs, sine of alpha, cosine of beta. All right, so what I want to do next is I want to do a little algebraic trickery here to get rid of some sines and cosines. And again, thinking about tangent as sine over cosine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide by some special cosines. So up in the, let's see, in the top here, I would like to divide by the cosine. Let's see, I'm going to divide the whole top by cosine beta sine of alpha. No, it's not the right order. Let's see. Oh, both cosines, cosine beta, cosine alpha, that's right. Now, if I do that to the top, I got to do the same thing to the bottom. So rewriting that, so just like if we were to multiply the top, we have to distribute it through. When you divide, you have to distribute it through. So this is going to give me a new interesting thing. So originally I had sine of alpha, cosine of beta right here, and I'm dividing that by cosine beta sine alpha, which I guess I'm going to write, sorry, cosine beta cosine alpha. And I'm going to switch those. I'm going to write it cosine alpha, cosine beta. All right, so that's still this thing right here. I just switched the order. Minus, so I'm just in the top of this thing right now. We have cosine alpha, sine beta. And then I'm going to just take the same thing but switch. So that's going to be cosine alpha, cosine, beta. All right, so I divided the top by cosine alpha, cosine beta. Do the same thing to the bottom. So in the bottom, we had cosine alpha, cosine beta, and I'm dividing that by cosine alpha, cosine beta, plus I had sine alpha, cosine beta, divided by that same thing, cosine alpha, cosine beta. All right, so what just happened here? I took my original expression here and I divided every piece by cosine alpha, cosine beta, cosine alpha, cosine beta, cosine alpha, cosine beta, cosine alpha, cosine beta. Some interesting things happen here though, once I do that. Here I have cosine beta divided by cosine beta. That's just 1, right? That's going to cancel. Here I have cosine alpha over cosine alpha. That cancels to a 1. Number divided by itself is 1. Over here, cosine alpha over cosine alpha is a 1 times another 1 right there, cosine over cosine. Over here, I have sine over cosine, cosine over cosine. So that's another cancellation right there. All right, make sure I got that right. Sine. Oh, I got an error. Hey, when that happens. I see the error. The error is right here. I spoke it right, but I wrote it wrong. Cosine angle difference is cosine, cosine, sine, sine. That should be a sine right there. So this right here is a sine. Okay. So what else do I have left here? Sine over cosine of the same angle is just a tangent. Times 1, who cares? Sine over cosine, same angle, that's tangent. In the bottom here, I have a 1 plus, and then here, sine over cosine is tangent alpha, and then here's tangent beta. So that right there is the tangent angle difference formula. It's not worth memorizing, but we're going to need to look it up once in a while. So for example, before we played around with pi over 4 minus pi over 6 is pi over 12. And so we could use this formula to find out at the angle pi over 12, what's the slope, because tangent tells us slope. And so that would give us that there by just evaluating this formula.